So, Arsenal 3, the little Tin Pot Football Club down the road, chicken and a basketball and all of that. 1, Kenny Ken, outside the ground. You were there. What was it like, mate, watching that live?
I'll tell you one thing, stressful. Very, 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 very stressful. We went 1-0 up, and, that was when we were at the height of our tempo. What a strike by Partey. I'm going to tell you now, I don't know how it looked on TV, but it looked like it was going in slow motion. And then, for some reason, we lowered the tempo, and that allowed Spurs to get into the game. And it was no accident that they actually got their penalty, but they were breaking our press. And, players like putting long balls over the top. Song was movement was very good in the first half. So was Richarlison. And, they gave Kane a bit of space. So it was kind of like last defending. And then, to give away that goal was just criminal. First, we do the right thing in trying to cut out the attack. But what we should have done is that we should have cleared our lines. But we tried to play football, got robbed, and then we panicked to give away a penalty. And then after that, Spurs get the 1-1. And it's like you're just hoping for half time because, Spurs, got a bit of control. But the second half, I don't know what team talk Mikel gave our lads. But I'll tell you one thing now. Our lads, our lads, right? You know what I mean? Our lads in the second half were immense. Absolutely immense. Came out, got the goal. Bit of fortuitous, a bit of a fumble by Lloris. But you know what? After that, we were in complete control. And then setting off to this day, I have to bow to your superior knowledge because in the ground, we didn't see what happened. We just saw we just saw a challenge of sorts. Martinelli roll around, and then the referee just gives a straight red card. So I have to ask you, maybe you can enlighten me about what happened there, because no one in the ground knows what happens.
Watching it in real time, I thought, okay, because I didn't actually see him give the red card, because the cameras had panned to Martinelli rolling around. All we see is the ref put the card back in his pocket. So me and Oliver were like, he's giving him a red, because it looked innocuous. But when you see the reverse angles and the replays of it, Kenny, his foot was planted and he caught him right on the ankle, studs up, mate. Straight red.
All right, dangerous foul. If it's in the rules of the game, it's
straight red.
It's the rules of the game.
To be honest, if I'm being completely honest, it probably should have been an amber card. But in the laws of the game, it's a straight red. His foot was planted and he caught him so clean with studs up on the ankle. And his foot was planted. He could have snapped his ankle. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was malicious, and it wasn't with a lot of force. But it's a red card in today's game. That's a red card.
Because we were wondering what was happening at the ground, because we were thinking there didn't seem to be any fanfare, no protestations, and he just walked down a tunnel. So he clearly knew what he'd done. But
he didn't even want it anyway, Kenny. After 5 minutes of the game, when Martinelli scooped the ball over him and done him, and then done him in Richarlison, so he was waving to the bench to come off. He didn't want it, mate. Yeah,
not at all. And I think one thing about what we did to their game plans, but by going to firstly getting the man set off and scoring the third goal from Granit, what it done is it ruined their game plan, and it seemed like it was like Song off, Richarlison off. It's all about Tuesday in Champions League, and I think that is what I think is our greatest success story, is that Spurs have been getting by this season by not just doing enough to stay in games, relying on their excellent front three to get them out of trouble. And I think when you come to the Emirates and you want to be serious about winning a football match, you can't get away with that, especially with the way we're playing, because we are ruthless. We still make mistakes, and we kind of got punished, but it wasn't critical. So there's still a lot of improvement we made in terms of like little things, like teams that get past their press and, sometimes giving the ball away. But one thing I would say is that, that word that Ian Dowie uses, bounce back ability, and that's what we've got in abundance. We're not a seasoned team yet, Lee, but the bounce back ability and the ability to take our chances and then wrest control in games, that is very, very impressive. And, it's a good Spurs side. Obviously, they had a few. You didn't have Kulusevski, but there's no way we were going to win this game. We went at our best, and we were at our best today.
Oh, we were absolutely quality from the first whistle, mate. We were all over them. We were close with Martinelli. We had a chance where Lenglet nearly scored an own goal. Yeah, but then
that's right. Yeah,
we get the goal, and what a goal, by the way. And I know you were down probably you were down the opposite end. Yeah, how good did that look from looking at behind it? I bet
let me tell you something now. If you know, like when you think about slow motion, you see it leave his foot, and it's like it's one of those things where you're actually shocked because it's in such slow motion.
Yeah,
you can actually appreciate the goal so much because it was the way he bent it away from the goal, but then it curls back in, and Lloris had no chance. I mean, I wish you were here. I sound like Julie Goodyear here, but it sounds like wish you were here. You had to see the atmosphere and the way the stadium rocks when that goal went in.
Hey, these
Trust
are the
me,
only types of games that I actually miss, if I'm honest. Like the big games,
well,
like
definitely.
Kickoff would have been electric an hour, 2 hours before.
And you know what's happened, right? I want to,
And he's gone, just like that, people. He has gone. He's back. He's back. You're on mute, mate. You're on mute. You're on mute, Kenny. You're on mute. I can't hear you.
No. Sorry, ring me. Everyone talks about Arsenal being a bit of a library, but let me tell you something now. Those Ashburton young lads are doing wonders for the atmosphere. If any bunch of young lads are a credit to this football club, the Ashburton Army are a credit to this club. Let me tell you something now. They got the stadium rocking, mate. What they've done this season, and let's face it, us winning games has helped as well. But for those lads, at performance, beating Tottenham, I shake their hands. If I they'll come in. They'll actually coming down Hornsey Road, and they actually got an escort to the grounds.
No way.
And I was just fist pumping all of them one by one before the match because I was thinking, you know what, you've done wonders for the club. But our lads today, those performances. Partey was the best player on the pitch. I know people were saying it's Martin Odegaard. Get that. People were talking about Granit Xhaka. Get that.
I didn't think Odegaard played that well today, if I'm honest. I thought, for me personally, I thought Saliba was the best player. Yeah, everything he did today.
I'm getting to him.
Insane, mate.
Lee, I'm getting to him. Let me get to him. My brother just said to me about Saliba, and I say to myself, I look at it right, and I think I'm a believer. It sounds like one of the songs from the Monkees now, but I am really a believer. Yeah, like I said, I am an absolute believer in this player because what he did in terms of like his poise, his control, even under pressure, the way he gets the ball out calmly.
Kenny, he is
definitely
Rio Ferdinand, mate, from back when he went from United.
You know what? Arteta, right? And I say has got gold in his hands. Gold, solid barred gold. Day, you all right? He's got gold in his hands in this player, Saliba. Please polish him up, polish the gold, shine it, and respect it. Because I tell you one thing, right? Saliba's doing well in spite of Mikel because at the time, Mikel's going to get the credit. And why shouldn't he take the credit? He's the one who selects him and it's working out for him. But it's an achievement itself to change the manager's mind. And it's an achievement itself to oust a £50 million centre-back who's bought in that position. But, you've got to give Benjamin White a bit of credit as well. Because I thought he had the game today.
He was the reason we got that second goal today, right? Because as soon as Saka got the ball, he sprinted straight behind him. That kept one of their players out. Saka comes in, takes the shot, percentage shot. Lloris spills it. Romero bobbles off him. It goes through Lloris's hands. Jesus tapping. If Ben White had made that run, that goal don't happen. Yeah,
you know what? Massive props to Benjamin White because Dave, he's learning a job and he's probably keeping out the club's best right back. So basically, if you look at Saliba, what he's done is that he's relegated our best right back to the pitch, and he's relegated the £50 million player to the right wing. But you know what? So far, so good. And I think what's happened is that these players are learning the job. But one thing you have to say, and I've said it when I speak to Mr. Judge, it's times like this when we're enjoying our game. Obviously, you take one game at a time, but it's times like this where you have to say to yourself, you know what? If you're playing this well, you have to have something to show at the end of the season. And it's a long run, got a World Cup. But this team needs to have a trophy to show for it, because you can't play like this and carry on playing like this without anything to show about it. Top four is never going to be enough, especially if you're playing this well, and especially when players are in this amount of form. I know it's going to be difficult, and I know it's a big ask, but you know what? This team, if you carry on like this, I think it'd be a crying shame if we get to May and there's no trophies. Because, you know, you can't play this well not having a trophy. You know what I mean?
100%. Totally agree with you, mate. Like we have been pretty flawed. Apart from that Man United game, we've been insane this season. And even in that Man United game, there was a chance they were there for the taking. It was just one of them days where we should have shored it up, but we just didn't, and we capitulated. Yeah, if that happened.
You know what they
the season, and only once or twice, then we'll be all right. But listen, this is all we've wanted, Kenny. Yeah, we've just wanted to be top of the table, winning game after game after game in good.
Well, Lee, when I say we're top of the table, the only time I want to be celebrating us top of the table is when we're all at the Channel, round the corner from here and up the street, and Odegaard, whoever's captain of the day, has got that massive, heavy trophy, which shows the best team in the league, not on paper, factually. That's what I want at the end of the season. Is it doable? It's only 3 points to win. That's all you got to do. Score more goals to the opposition. That's what football's all about. Simple game, Lee. But you and I know it's a long, long, long way to go, mate. You know, I'm just coming out of the songs now. You know what I mean? The song, you know, lines out of a song now with all these long way to go. I'm a believer and everything. It's one of those things. But that's what Spurs does to you. And I just want to say one thing to everyone out there. The way you're celebrating the day, the way everyone's in a good mood, don't let anyone tell you that our biggest rivals are Man United and Chelsea, and they have bigger games than Spurs. I've seen your reactions today, and I've seen everyone around the stadium, and I've seen the smiles, the whites of the teeth, and you included. Always
Hey, look how happy I am.
Always
I predicted
it's always Tottenham.
I predicted all week 4-2. I predicted 4-2. I said we'll batter them. We'll beat them comfortably. Yeah. Everyone's telling me I'm a top gooner. I want to be a top gooner. Just win the title, man, or get me in a race. So far, so good. But listen, we're going to do player a little bit later. If you get back,
I'll do my best because because the trains and everything.
And all of that are mad, yeah. But if you don't get back,
so I'll do my best.
Yeah, but I'll text you anyway.
One thing I want to say. I know I don't normally do this. Everywhere they go.
Everywhere they
go.
Come on, Spurs, get battered. Everywhere they go.
Everywhere they go. Tottenham get battered. Everywhere they go. I'll speak to you later, Lee.
Love you, mate. Get home safe, all right?
Love you,
mate.
See you later.
But